And welcome back to my channel. It's for number 3 video. Oh yeah. On our road tonight. It's just 3 I'm doing. Um Trials, tribulations and life, eh? Olia? Huh. We really need to be each other's support and encouragement and shoulder. Now, I've been experiencing some things for the past. Today would make it a year. Feel like a sneeze coming on. And release. Yes. Excuse me. Um, Today's the 3rd of June 2014, and it has exactly been to the date a year. Now, I have been trying to move on in life or move up in life, acquire the things that you would like to have in your life, like your own place, your own, you know, house, and these things. And this year has been an obstacle. I mean, I tell you, an obstacle has been an obstacle where people fall out and your money jumping up in limbo and you don't know your head from your foot. And I mean, when you save and you save, I mean, I'm a government worker. I don't get paid in the millions. My family's not rich. My fiance's family isn't rich. So you're trying to make a life for your own, and when you finally do acquire that ability, I should say, to you know get your own, people out there just don't care. Take what I'm telling you, they just don't care. They're out for themselves, they're out for themselves, they're out for themselves. By the way, hmm I'm using my Blistex Fruity Smoothie lip gloss. Well, I'm gonna put my lip balm. My lip feels so kissable. Yes, a segue. Yeah, sorry for that moment. And suffice to say, the whole thing didn't go through as it was supposed to, and we had to get back our money. And when I tell you it's money, I'm talking about money. And this particular individual giving the runaround. The type of people who, before it never, with everything comes new learning experiences, and you understand better after the experience. You know what to expect next and what not to do next time and what to do differently and that kind of thing. I never had a landline contact number for this individual, right? Who we paid our money to. And always cell phone. So, you could switch off your cell phone when you want, or you could not answer it when you want. That kind of thing. And I was getting the runaround. And I started to pray and ask God, it's like, why are you going through all of this? What all of this is really about? And every day it was like a trial and a burden, and it's like you get more, I wouldn't say depressed, right? You just get more disappointed. You understand? And I was talking to Nick and Crystal, and it's like life not fair. Life really not fair. And out here it's like survival to the fittest. You understand? If you don't have family with a set of money to pull you out, dog eat your supper. You understand? And if you're here, you're not on your toes about what to do and how to get things done, dog eat your supper. Right? Now, I did not know anything about this whole thing until I was in the water up to my neck. Right? Because you really don't have anybody to advise you as such. And, to willingly tell you what to look for and what to look for and what to expect and what not to do. We had to do it all on our own. You understand? And you go in, you're taking your days off, your weekends, you're hunting, you're calling, you understand? You're going and you're actually in um places where where you don't know the person. How do you can trust this person? And in this day and age, you can't be too safe. You understand? You can't be, yeah. So I said some prayers, and I was really mad, and I called the person, and I finally get the person, and I called him, and I start to. I mean, why does it have to reach the point of telling you personal information about yourself? I had to go and look for it to tell you, look, I know these things are happening. So what you're telling me is not the truth. You understand? And you know, I seen the person, things happening in the life, happy, and it's like I can't go nowhere. Things I was supposed to accomplish at the end of this year, I can't. You understand? Because of certain things that happened, they kept me back, right? So what I promised to do, and I even say, well, boy, there's some people that's going into business that could open my own consultancy office. You understand? Is tell people like myself who you never had the dream of owning your own home, but the advice to get, you don't really have it around you because probably your parents had their own house, so they squat and they build, and after donkey years they get either comfort and that kind of thing. So, or probably when it is they purchased a house, it wasn't as difficult as it is, or as expensive and as competitive, right? So my promise is to share information, as much as I know, and after going through this experience, I know now next what not to do, and what to expect, and what to do, right? Um, like for instance, don't trust nobody. If you can't get a landline where you could always get a person, it makes sense. You understand? And one thing I would like to talk about in particular tonight, because I didn't know about it until when it came up when we went to the financial institution and they said, well, you need to do this. And I was like, what is that? And I called everybody who I knew under the sun, Google, look for, and it's like, nobody could have told me what it was. They kept saying it, but they couldn't give me the steps in how to achieve that. Putting something in escrow, right? I think you all probably heard about it when you watch HGTV, but never really understood what it was. Putting stuff in escrow means that if you are purchasing any item, you basically between it come like there are three parties. You, the vendor, or you as the purchaser, the vendor, and a third person, which could be a financial institution or another person who both parties trust. That person would hold that money or deposit, whatever you have to make, in good faith, in the form of probably a check or a document or whatever the case may be, until the agent or the vendor comes through with whatever it is you are purchasing from them. It safeguards you, the individual, the purchaser, from the vendor taking your money and disappearing into thin air. And it has happened, and it can happen, right? So when you hear anybody talking about escrow, it's a good thing. Look up on it, do your own research. Find out, because I called banks, and banks, Scotiabank was like, we don't do that again. You understand? But they make it sound like something so big and grandeur that it's like, oh, escrow, that sounds so. But it's to safeguard you. A lawyer can hold your money in escrow for you, right? Um, so that's just one thing I want to talk. I wanted to share with you all. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do another video talking about things, especially if it is you're purchasing a home, things to look for, things that would be to your benefit, um, things to make sure and get, and documents that you need to keep, and all these other glorious things that would save you a lot of time and hassle. So I hope my little tidbit, was inspirational enough, in that, in all things, God comes out in the end for his people when you pray and pray about it, and have faith and trust in him. And I just gonna say have a good night and be blessed. Okay, so bye bye. See you soon.